Hello everyone, Bhavya this side. So today we are going to see. So for today the agenda is we will see indentation, then we will see range function, and then loops. Okay. Basically, in the previous session we have discussed about the if statement, else statement, and elif statements, like the conditional statements. Okay. If you haven't seen the previous video, so first go and watch those videos. Okay. So you can search on YouTube. Okay, so you can search for the channel name, which is one. From there, click on live, and from there you can watch the previous sessions like day 5, day 4, day 3, day 2, day 1, all the videos. Okay, so you will get a better understanding of all the concepts of Python. In the previous sessions, we have discussed like what is Python, fundamentals of Python, and the if statements and the data types, variables, naming conventions, like everything from the basic. Okay, so and today we are going to discuss the indentations, range function, and loops. So we have two types of loops, that is for loop, and then we have while loop. Okay, so you can click on either you can watch these videos by right click. Okay. So yeah. Either you can access like watch these videos or you can access the videos from the playlist. Okay. Python course, you can check out the full playlist which is in Hindi as well as in English. So you can watch this. Okay. So before moving to the session, I recommend you to watch all the sessions, all the previous sessions, so that you can have a like better understanding of the all the concepts. Okay, now let's start. So let's see what is indentation, and then we will see comments also, and then range function, loops, and we have two types of loops, for loop and while loop. Okay, so what is indentation? Let me show you with an example. Okay, so let's make a folder here. Let's say loops. Okay, so drag this folder over VS Code. Process. Let me zoom in. So create a new file here. Let's say any name, file.py. So in the previous session, we have discussed the if statements, like if, elif, else. So let's say if 5 is greater than 4, then print true. Just a simple example. Okay. Then else print false. Okay. So this space here you can see this space is known as indentation. Means a little space before any before any print function or before anything inside the if statement or loops is known as the indentations. Like a little space here, this space is known as indentations. Okay. Whenever you're creating a function or whenever you are creating loops or whenever you're creating any like try and exception models, so we have to use indentation. We are using the indentation to specify that this print statement is inside this if statement. Okay, same as with this else, we are specifying or we are telling the Python that this print statement is inside this else statement. Okay, what if you not put the indentation? See, so the Python interpreter will throw an error. When you run this, see indentation error. Okay, so don't forget to put the indentation, which is very important. Okay, basically in the Java or the C++ programming, we use curly braces instead of the spaces, curly braces or colons, etc. Okay, but in Python, so Python is an easy language. So instead of using a curly braces or round brackets or complex brackets, we use just spaces. Okay, or whenever you are using any IDE like the VS Code, so the IDE will tell you when to put a space or when not to put a space, like space enter. So this is the space. This is the indentation which is added by the IDE, which means VS Code automatically. Okay, so you can put print and let's say anything you want or true false. Okay, and when you write else here, print. See, we have this space. When you put colon and then space, we have this indentation here. Okay, and what if you remove this colon? Then we don't have any space. Okay, so just follow all the syntax of while using the or while coding. Basically, these are known as the grammar of the Python. Okay, like just like we have grammar in the English, so like we have grammar in the Python. Okay, like colon, spaces, or round brackets, square brackets. These are all the grammar of the Python. Print and then false. Okay, now you can run this. So the answer is true. Okay, so this is known as indentation. This space is known as indentation. No. Now what are comments? See. So comments are so basically comments are ignored by the Python interpreter. And what are comments? See, whenever suppose you are writing a code, let's say print hello world. Okay, so you are writing a code and you are new to programming. So let's say you want to make a note here or you want to make notes here. Like you want to write print is a function which is used to print something. Okay. Suppose you want to write a note here. Okay, like whatever like you want. Okay, so here you write print is a function which is used to print something. Now, whenever you run this program, the Python interpreter will obviously show you an error. So what if you comment this out? You put a hash here before this line hash. Now this becomes a comment, and whenever you run this, hello one, no error at all. Okay, this command means this line will ignore by the browser, by the Python interpreter. So the Python interpreter will ignore this line. Okay, and whenever you make this comment also, and when you run this program, you don't have anything. We don't have anything inside the Python file. Okay, means the Python file is empty for the Python interpreter because everything is a command here, and command is ignored by the Python interpreter. Okay, so that is why we use command. Like basically, we use command for making a note. Suppose we want to make a note, or suppose you are coding. Okay, and someone comes, or like we okay, like someone comes and watch your coding. So what if like or even you after a particular period of time you come back to your code. So making a note is a very beneficial for your programming. And now as a beginner, you know that okay, print is a function which is used to print something. So you write here. Okay, suppose you are writing, we are making a if statement, like if anything. Okay, now you want to write here that the if and else statement is known as the conditions. Okay, so this is a note. Okay, so whenever you want to type a note or whenever you want to put a heading, anything, you can use the comments. So we have two types of comments. We have single line comments and then we have multi-line comments. So we have single line comments and then we have multi-line comments. Okay, so single line are like, this is known as the single line comment. Whenever you write anything again, like anything, then you have to put the hash again back. Okay, so this is single line comment. What is multi is like whenever you put here this. No, this is multi line comment. Means you can add as many line as you want. Okay, so this is multi-line comment. So basically we use like both multi-line or single line. It's your choice. Okay, now there's a shortcut in the VS Code. It's only in the VS Code, and rest it depends on the IDE you are using. Okay, so there's a shortcut like we have control plus slash. Okay, which slash? This is forward slash. Okay, control plus forward slash. To comment it, so to comment in and out. Okay, for example, you want to comment these whole lines. So select and control slash forward slash comment. And if you want to uncomment this, you can press again control or forward slash comment and comment. Okay, like you can do this. So this is a very like helpful shortcut. You can use it. It is only for the VS Code, and rest it depends on the IDE you are using. Like it is different from PyCharm. It is like different from the PyCharm or Atom or Sublime, whatever you are using. Okay, so it depends on the IDE you are using. So this is known as comments. Okay, so comments are basically ignored by the Python interpreter. Now we have the range function. Before moving to loops, we will see the range. Okay, it's in practical. So remove this one, or you can comment this out. But I want to remove this one. Now print range. Okay, range is a function, and then range. Let's say 5. So this will print the range like 1 to 5. Okay, like 0 to 5, sorry. Now, okay. And whenever you specify, basically the syntax of the range is you write range, start argument, stop argument, and then step argument. Okay, we have 3 arguments: start, stop, and step. So range, you can specify from where you want to start your range. Let's say from 3 to stop, like from where like until you want to stop, then we can put 5 and then step. Okay, let's do. So 3, 5 means this will go from 3 and 4. No 5. Okay, like one step backward. Whenever you put like 1 to 10 or 11, so it will goes from 1 to 10, not 1 to 11. Okay, like one step backward. And what is the means of step here? Means if you want to skip any value, then you can skip with the help of step argument, like 1. So your range will move from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now 1 means one value will be skipped. No value will be skipped when you put one step as an argument. Okay, one step means no value will be skipped. Whenever you put 2, then one value will be skipped. 1 means 2 will be disappeared like this. We have 2 here. One value will skip, which means 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That's it. Okay. And whenever you put 3, so means 2 values will be skipped. 2 values means 1 and then 4, and then 2 values like 5, 6 will be skipped, and then we have 7. And then 8, 9 will be skipped, and then we have 10 here. Okay, so remember whenever you put one step means no value will be skipped. When you put 2 step as a step argument, then one value will be skipped. And if we put 3 step is equal to 2 value will be skipped. Same as 4. 4 like 3 value will be skipped, and so on. Okay, it depends on your step argument. So if you put 1, no value will be skipped. If you put 2 or 3 or 4, Okay, if you put 2, then 1 will be skipped. 3, 2, 4, 3, like this. Okay, this is known as the step. Now the step arguments is optional. Like it's your choice whether you want to put or not. It's your choice. So this is the syntax of the range function. So let's see. And whenever you are using the range with the help of Python, so range will not print the numbers in sequence like 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. No. This will only put print 0 to 5. See, when you run this, we have the 0 to 5. Okay. And when you put like the start argument, let's say 1 to 11. So this will print from 1 to 11. Okay, why this range function is not giving the number in sequence? Like, for example, I am putting 111, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this. Because for this, we have to use the for loop. Okay, that is why I have told you to first what is the range function, and then we will move to the for loop. So if you are using the print function, if you're using the range with the print, this will only show you the range. Okay, 1 to 11. Now, what if we want to like run 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, the number in sequence? Then we will use for loop. Now, what are loops here? I'm like keep on saying loops and loops. So, what are loops exactly is? See, suppose you want to write hello world. Okay, let's see here. Suppose you want to write hello world. You want to print hello world 100 times, or let's say 10 times. Okay, like you want to print it 10 times. So what you will supposed to do? Copy or paste? No. Like what you are doing is you copy and you're just pasting like this. Okay, this is not the way of writing any code because as you know, coding is not enough. Like anyone can do coding. So doing coding is not enough. What is important is the how you are coding, like how you code the things. For example, this now look at this code. We have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of code for printing just hello world. Okay, and we can do this in just 2 lines of code. Okay, like we have to write hello world 10 times. So copy this and then so we have to write hello world 10 times. And what we are doing, we are just copy and paste. This is not the way. So what we can do, we can just write hello world 100 times, 1000 times, just in 2 lines of code. Okay. So what is important is how you're coding, like the length of your code, the speed of your code, the efficiency of your code. This all matters inside the coding. Okay, so remember whenever you are coding, so writing the code or just look at your code, the length of your code and the how you're coding and the speed all matters. Okay, so now what we do, we will just end this line, like we will write 100 times, 1000 times with the help of for loop. So for loop means loops are also known as iteration. Iteration means repetition. Iteration, or we can say that repetition. Okay. Okay. So now loops are also known as iteration or repetition. Let's see an example. So for I in range. Okay, we will use a range function here and then 1 to 11 and then print I. Now let's run this. Now we have the number in sequence from 1 to 10. Okay. Or you can put any number like anything 100 or 101. So this will give from 1 to 100. Okay, 100 we have like this. Okay, even you can start with the 5, you can start with 10, you can start with any number and you can end with any number. Okay. So we have started with 5 and end it 99. Okay, 100, 101. So 101 is from 5 to 100. Okay, if you put 100 here, so means 5 to 99 like this. Okay, now what we are doing here, this is the for loop. So before that, let's see the syntax of the for loop. So we have the syntax. Syntax means how we are writing a particular code. Okay, like particular function or a particular loop. So we have to put for. Okay, for is a reserved keyword. For I is a variable here. So we can like we can name this anything like I, A, B, C, D, anything. But we mostly use I. So you can put anything. It's your choice. I in range. Okay, in range, or we can put the condition here. Okay, we can put the condition here in colon and then the block of code. This is the syntax of the for loop. For I in condition, whatever is your condition you want to print or you want to provide a range, whatever you want to do, here comes your condition. And then your block of code means the block of code that you want to repeat on and on. Okay. So this is the syntax of the for loop. So why we use for loop? Suppose we want a repetition or we want a code to be execute again and again, we want a number, etc. So these are the common reasons we use for loop. So for I in range 5 to 11. Okay, so if you want to iterate over anything, we can use the for loop or while loop. Okay, so see, now let's write 100 times that hello world. Okay, so for I in range, let's say from 100 times, so 101 and print, we will write hello world. Okay, now let's enter. So we hello world 100 times. The same thing we have to do in 100 lines, we are doing it in 2 lines. Okay, so this is a difference in coding, like how you code. So that is why we use functions, we use loops, we use statements to shorten the code. Okay, so we help everywhere. No. So we can specify here follow, which is mean iteration or repetition. Now let's write the syntax of the for loop here. First, we have to write for your variable. Okay, variable can be anything, like just follow the rules of the variable that is known as the naming conventions. For I in your condition here, okay, whatever you want to put, colon, and in print, or we can put your indentation and then block of code. Okay, this is the syntax of the for loop. So you can iterate over anything inside for loop. You can iterate over list, you can iterate over tuple, you can iterate over the string numbers, dictionaries, set, etc. Okay, so let's see an example. So let's create a list here, list underscore one. Let's say we have a list of fruits. Okay. And oranges. I like oranges. Okay. So for I in list underscore in print I. Okay, now let's run this. So apple, cherry, oranges. Now let's see the flow of code. Okay, how this for loop is working. So first we have like write for I is an iterating variable. Okay, in list underscore one. So what is happening here is we have a list. Okay, now here for I in list underscore one. So the for statement will see whatever is inside the list, it will come inside or it will store inside the I variable one by one. Like for I in list underscore one. So inside list underscore one, we have three elements: apple, cherry, and oranges. Okay, so we have three elements here. So when the loop will start, so it will check for the first element, that is apple. Okay, obviously it will check for the first element, so apple. So the apple will store inside I and then print I. Okay, this is the first iteration or the first move of the for loop. Then it will check again for the cherry. It will check whether the list is empty, list is over or not. So it will check again. Okay, list is not over yet, we have another two elements left. So we have cherry, so the cherry will store inside I and then print I. This is the second move. Now the for loop will check again if the list is now empty or not, or now over or not. So we have one more element left, that is oranges. So oranges will store inside I, then print I. So inside I, what we have oranges. So it is like this. First I is equal to apple, then I is equal to cherry. Then third I is equal to oranges. This is how the iteration goes on. Like one by one, not at all, not as a like whole, one by one. So first apple will store, then the for loop will check for the condition again. If the list is over or not, so know the list we have remaining two elements. So cherry will store inside I, and then oranges will store inside I, and then print I one by. So this is the functioning of the for loop. Now let's take another example. Let's take we have a string here. Name. You can put John. Okay. Then for I in name, and then we will print I. Okay, you have to print I, not name. You cannot put name here. Okay, you have to put I. Because all the elements of your name is storing inside I one by one. Okay, so you have to make sure that. So name, we have John. So name is a variable here and we have this value, string value. So what will happen? The output is like this. So we have first JOHN like this. When you run this program, JOHN. And why we have this line? Because first we are iterating over a string. Okay, previously we are iterating over a list. Now here we are iterating over a string. And inside string we have four characters JOHN. So the for loop will iterate over each and every element. So first we have J. So J will store inside name and then we know that a name is equal to J. So for I in name, so whatever inside name, which is John, will store one by one inside I. Like J will store inside I and then print I one by one. Okay, not the follow is not in hurry. One by one just. So I is equal to J. Then follow will check the condition again. Now the follow finds that okay O is also there. So O will store inside A. So the next time the loop will iterate. So I O is inside I. So we can say that I is equal to O. So print I. So what is the value of I is O. So JO will be printed. Then it will check the condition again. So the follow say okay, H is also there. So H will store inside I and print I. So I is equal to H. Same as with N. Okay. And when the loop finds okay, the string is over, then it will terminate. Okay. So it will stop executing. So when you run this, you have the John one by like this. Okay. Now let's take another example of tuple. So tuple underscore one. We can put anything like one, two, three, like anything. Then so for I in tuple underscore one, print I. Okay, as simple as that. So this will print 1, 2, 3, 4 apple, cherry, oranges, one by one. Okay, like one will store inside I, then print I. So one will be printed. Then two will store inside I, then two will be printed. Three will store inside I, then three will be printed, and so on. Oranges. And when the for loop finds that okay, the tuple is over, this will stop executing or the loop will terminate. Okay. This is the flow of the for loop. Now, let's see some more example with the following to make it clear. Okay, so for I in range, and then we'll provide a range from 1 to 100. Let's say, okay, print I. Now on this, we have 1 to 100. We have to 90, obviously, like 100 means one step backward. That's 101 means 1 to 100. Now, let's put a step argument here. When you put 1 here as a step argument, which means no value will be skipped. It's 211 here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 10 in sequence. Okay, no value will be skipped. When you put 2 here, and when you run the program, we have 1, then we have 3, then we have 4, will skip 5, 6 is skip, then 7, 8 is skip, then 9. Okay, means one value skip. And when you use 3 here, so we will see 2 values skip, like 1, 4, 7, 10, like this. Okay, so this is for I in range. This is how you can print the number in sequence. Okay, I hope this much is clear. No. Okay, so we have comment this out. Now everything is a comment in my Python file. So when you run this program, nothing will execute because we have all everywhere we have comments. No main code. This is the for loop. Now then we have while loop. Where it is? Yeah. So while loop is not difficult, basically. Let's see. So the syntax of the while loop is, see the syntax, I is equal to 1. Then while your condition here, and then your block of statement, like whatever you want to iterate again and again. And then your increment value. Okay. So here what we are doing, we are initializing the loop first. So we are initializing the loop here. Then while your condition here, and then block of statement that you want to repeat, like that you want to like print again and again, and then increment value. Now the while loop is like different from the for loop. Here we have to initialize the loop first. Means we have to define from where you want to start the loop. So I want to start my loop from one number, or you can put any number, 1, 10, 100, any number. It's your choice. So I want to start my loop from one number, first number, and this is very important to initialize your loop. Okay, then while the keyword and condition means whatever your condition you are checking for. Okay, and then your block of statement, like anything, and then your increment value. So let's see the example first, then only we will understand. So while I, sorry, first initialize 1, then while, let's put a condition here, I is greater than or less than equal to 7. Then print I, not if, and then increment the value I plus equal to, okay, first I plus equal to 1 means the same flag I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, they are same, like we are updating the value of the I here. First the value of I is 1. Okay, now here we are checking the condition. If the I is less than is equal to 7, then stop the program. Means this is a condition here. And we keep on incrementing the value here. When you run this program, see, we have this 1 to 7 numbers because we are checking the conditions. First, your loop will start from the 1. So this is initializing value. Okay, then while your condition, now we are checking for the condition. Now see, first when the loop will start, so the loop will start from here. Why? Because this is only the variable. So your loop will start from here. So it will check for the condition. Now what is the value of I? The value of I is 1, which is greater or is equal to 7. Now, is this condition is true or false? This condition is true because I is less than 7. So the print statement will execute. Okay, so here we will write is equal to 7. So statement will be executed. Then we have I plus is equal to 5. We are incrementing the value here with one number. Previously, we know that the value of I is 1. So we are incrementing, means we are updating the value of I here. I equal 1 plus 1, which is 2. Because as you know, the value of I is previously 1. So 1 plus 1, which is 2. Okay, so here this means and this one both are same. Okay, and this is known as the assignment operator, as you know. Now the value becomes 2 here. So the loop will again check for the condition whether I means the value becomes 2 now. 2 is less than or is equal to 7. So yeah, this condition is still true. Because as we know that this condition is 2 is less than or equal to 7. Basically less than. So this statement will be executed. So now we have 2 here. And then the value will be increment again. Now what is the value now? 2. So 2 plus 1, That is 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, we have 3 here. Now the while loop will check the condition again. Now it will check for the 3 because now the value of I is 3 because the loop will start from here. Don't confuse that your loop will start from here. This is just a variable. Okay, the loop will start from here only. Now the value of I is 3 and y value is keep on updating because we have put this increment value inside the while loop. Okay, means this increment value, this statement is inside a while. Now the new value of I is 3. Okay, now this will check for the condition again whether 3 is less than is 7 or not. Yes, this condition is still true. So print 3, print I. So what is the value of I is 3. So this will print it here. Then it will increment again. So because your code flow from top to bottom. So I, the value of I is 3 here. 3 plus 1, 4. So it will check for the condition 4 again. So it will check for the condition until 7. Okay, suppose we have 7 here. 7 is less than no, but 7 is equal to 7. So this condition here is still true. So print 7. So we have the 7 here. Okay. Now it will increment the value again. So 7 plus 1, 8. Okay, now it will check the condition again. 8 is less than is equal to 7. No, 8 is greater than 7. Okay, neither less nor equal. So 8 is greater than 7. So we have this condition false. Now when your condition becomes false, the while loop will stop executing or the while loop will terminate. This is the flow of the while. Okay, when you run this program, we have 1 to 7 numbers. 1 to 7. Okay, you can put any number, you can initialize with any, you can initialize 5. So we have 5. Now it will check for the 5 value. Let's start from 5 because now the value of I is 5. So it will check for the 5. So we have 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay, now maybe this one. Yeah. This is the flow of your value. Now the question arises why we are incrementing the value again and again. Okay, this is the initialized value. Okay, I understand. This is while loop. This is the condition you have to check. Then print I, printing the value. Okay, and then why we are incrementing this? Because if you are not incrementing, the condition will never becomes false, and the loop will execute again and again over infinite times. Okay, for example, now your values I 1. Okay, your I value is 1 here. So I is 1. Now 1 is less than equal to 7. So this condition is true. As we know, 1 is less than 7. And print I. So print time is the value of I is 1 and remove this. Okay. Now this will cause your loop to flow to work or to execute again and again. Like 1 will be printed in infinite number of times because now this condition is true now. And the syntax or the formula of while loop is when a condition becomes false, the while loop will stop executing. Okay. So here your condition is true. Okay, and if the condition is true, the while loop will never stop executing. Okay, so the while will while will flow again and again over infinite times. So we can say that this this will arise the condition of infinite code. Okay, so this is known as the infinite loop, when your condition never becomes false and the loop is keep on flowing. So this is known as infinite. Whenever you run this program, see, we have one everywhere. Now this is the infinite. Okay, let me stop this. This will eat my time. So I stop this program, see, we have one everywhere. Because now this condition is always true. And when the condition is always true, the while loop will execute. And when the condition becomes false, the while loop will stop executing. This is the formula of the while. Okay. So I hope this much is clear. Basically, now the question again arises where to use while loop or where to use for loop. So you can use for loop whenever you know how many times you want to iterate a particular block of statement. Or you can use while loop whenever you know the condition only, but not the number of times you want to iterate. Okay. Basically, we have a program. Suppose we have a set of problems. or we have a program here. Okay, anything. Now a program can be solved with the help of for loop also and with the help of while loop also. But what is important? Which one is giving more efficiency to that particular problem? Okay, means which one is giving like more efficiency to that particular program. So on that time, you have to choose where to use for loop and where to use while loop. So basically, you can use for loop whenever you know the number of iterations. Okay, so we can write whenever we know the number of iterations. Means how many times we want to iterate, how many times we want to repeat this code. For example, we know the condition. Okay, I want this hello world 100 times. So I know here that I want to like iterate my loop 100 times. On that time, you can use for loop. And we have to use value whenever you know the condition, but not the iteration number. Okay, so we can write whenever. Okay, whenever we know the condition. For example, we know the condition that let's say this is my condition here. I don't know how many times I will iterate this loop, but I know the condition that when my condition, when 5 is greater, when the, let's put I here, 5. When I becomes smaller than 7, then stop the loop. So this is my condition here. I'm checking if the I value can be anything like 1 to 7, 1 to 7. When the I becomes 7 or equal to 7, like less than 7 or equal to 7, then stop the loop. So this is known as the condition. Now I don't know how many values are there, how many times it will iterate, but now I know the condition. This is my condition, and this is how many times this is now. Until this condition becomes false, iterate the loop again and again. And when this condition becomes false, stop the loop. Okay, so we use while whenever we know the condition, and we use for loop whenever we know the number of iterations we want. Basically, as I said, that you can apply the for loop and while loop on the on a single problem also, like on the same problem also. You can solve this, but what is matter like what's matter is how many like the efficiency of your code. Okay, so that's matter. Like we have to use for loop, if we have to use while loop. So in the upcoming sessions, we will see the problems where we can use for loop or while loop, or where we can use both together. Okay. So that's it for today. Okay, this is the syntax of for loop and the while loop. Now, rest we will continue tomorrow. Thank you so much. And one more thing, if you want to see the course content of Python, then you can visit the website. From here, you can click on Python, scroll down. Okay. So from here, Python, click on here. Okay, so you can see the course content of the Python core and advanced, which we are going to cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, like all the information you can see from here, like the upcoming batches, fee details, etc. And the duration of the course. Okay, now and if you have any query, you can call on this number. Okay, or you can WhatsApp or you can mail. So choice. Okay, so rest we will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we will see the break statement. We will see the else statement with for loop and while loop. We will see the break statement and we will see the continue statement with the for loop and while loop. And then we will see the nested loops, like loops inside loops. Okay, complex. So we will see that tomorrow. Thank you. And